We're here. We are here. We are here. Welcome, welcome. Thank tech, guys. Man, I'll tell you something. I told you guys every once in a while they say, you can do this. I'm like, no, I can't. You're so wrong. They just make it seem so simple. Welcome, welcome. We're thrilled to be here. We almost weren't, but now we are. We've got lots of great surprises. This whole month is going to just be a really fun month. And let me just kind of tell you a few things. First off, our pattern of the month is 1900. So actually I was going to do this pattern a little while ago, and I thought, with all this virus, and this is probably not the time to be doing a jacket, so we switched it all around, which is I love flexibility. You guys know that. But this is a really good time. We're kind of getting back out. We still have some time. We haven't yet got bombarded with all the things in daily life, or maybe we have. So what we're going to do is, Laura's here tonight. We're going to fit Laura, and we're going to take you through her journey of doing this. Next webcast, we're going to have Belinda and Diane, and they're both working on their muslins for 1900. So we'll fit 3 different people. But not this Saturday. A week from Saturday, we're going to have a sew-along for the jacket, and we'll do part 1 and part 2. Just like the directions are divided. They're divided up in 2 parts, and we'll do that. We'll do the fittings, and then we'll do part 1, and then we'll do part 2. So literally, if you just hang with us, you can get it fitted, you can get it sewn, we can get everything done, and we'll have beautiful jackets. Jackets are just all year round, and they're not for if you work, and they're not for if you don't work. They're just great. I wear jackets all the time. And we're going to do lined as well as unlined. We're going to do both. We'll cover both of those things. All right, 1900 is a great base. It's a great place to start. Now, because this tonight was summer sewing, we wanted to do summer sewing, but because we were fitting 3 people, we can't fit all 3 people in one time. So Laura's here tonight doing fitting. So we're going to do that first, and then we'll go into our summer sewing. So we've got way too much, and we're running late. We'll probably go a little over. We'll see how it goes, or we'll just talk fast. But the main thing we want is to invite Laura on, because she's here, and also really to answer your questions regarding fitting this jacket. I think that's really important for you to feel comfortable as we fit this jacket, and so we're going to go through the process. All right, sweet Laura. Okay, so, you guys, we stand at the...
I just have to make the first part of the webcast, the first few minutes was no sound. So...
Is there sound now?
Some people were getting sound.
And we just got sound.
It's good.
Okay.
30 seconds ago.
Okay, well that's okay.
As you were inviting Laura.
Okay, so I don't know what you heard or what you didn't hear, but you can, we'll just pick up. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for everything.
Some of you might not have sound, but we're good.
Some of you might not have had sound, but now we're good.
Yeah,
everybody should have sound at this point. Does everybody have sound? Raise your hand if you have sound. All right, so the goal tonight is really to get you thinking fitting of this jacket. And so, because 2 weeks from tonight we'll fit Belinda and Diane. I'm not sure what you heard. A week from Saturday we'll have sew-alongs. We'll just cover it all. We just hang with us, and we're going to get this jacket done. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to start. Laura and I have more conversation than what we share with you. The problem is that I try to say, no, don't tell me that. Tell them that.
Okay.
Because it's stuff I want you to hear. So,
okay.
You never know. She never know if I want you to hear it or not, because she's not a mind reader of what is in my head. But what we did is we started with 1900. And so, the first question everybody always has is, what size do I start with? And you know me, I go directly to what's in your closet. Okay, so Laura had watched, a little bit ago, we had posted Heather's, our PBS series with Heather, and she was a consultant, and she's amazing. I mean, she's just, every time I put something on, I think, I wonder what Heather would change. But anyway, she's incredible. I got a chance to work with her for a while, and she's amazing. So Laura had kind of seen that, wanted to clean out her wardrobe, get it all done. So she came across, when I said, go to your favorite jacket, she came across this jacket, which was from...
Liz Claiborne.
What year?
Approximately early to mid-90s.
You weren't even wearing it. It was in a plastic bag.
Right. It had been in the closet for a long time.
She really liked it that much. Okay?
Yeah, I loved it.
So what we want to do is discover what it is you liked about it, and all these years later, If you still like it.
I still like it, and I would like to update it. The sleeves, the length, probably, certainly the fabric, but it's good now. Although I think that the jackets now are more fitted in the sleeves with a 2-piece sleeve,
Yeah,
rather than a 1-piece sleeve.
So we did notice that it is actually a jacket according to the buttonholes.
Yes,
But it's a blouse according to the sleeve.
exactly.
So from a pattern making perspective, it's a little bit of both.
Mhm.
But it doesn't matter. She likes it. So that's what you do, is you want to find out what you like about your clothes and forget measuring your body and all your bust sizes and all that stuff. It's what you're wearing. But also you measured several things.
Yes,
She's got some notes. We're going to
I
cheat.
made notes. I have learned from being on this program. You've got to have notes.
Okay.
I measured 3 other jackets, whether they were princess style as this one was or regular jackets, and my measurements did not vary more than 2 inches from the smallest to the
Yeah,
largest.
that's
that
amazing.
I'm comfortable
That
in.
is amazing to me.
Yeah.
So, 2 inches,
But it makes a difference.
it does make a difference.
Mhm.
But yet when you're choosing your size, if you're not sure, go to the larger of those 2 inches, because you can always take it in. It's easier to take it in.
Mhm.
So once
Yes,
she
it is.
got through all that measuring, knowing that her body size is totally different than her arm size, I told her, for right now, forget her arm, forget her sleeve, forget all that. We'll solve that later. Let's
Yes.
just deal with the body, and then we'll deal with the sleeve. I mean, we dealt with it. I mean, but as far as, I don't want her to worry about transferring the armhole or anything. I just wanted her to cut out the size she chose as it is, and she did that. And she figured she was one size on the bottom. She graduated to another size at the one size at the top. I'm sorry,
and-
another size at the bottom. It doesn't even matter what size. She just went from bust to waist. She graduated out to the bigger size at the waist,
Yes, I did.
just to make sure. Because again, we can always take it in. It's easier to take it in.
Because with changing in age, etc., your body changes, so you got to
It
change.
does. It does.
You got to change your
It does.
pattern.
Doesn't matter how old you are. Your body
Yes.
changes.
Okay.
Okay. So now, I'm assuming that you want to wear this jacket closed.
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Okay, because if you're going to make a jacket and you're going to wear it open all the time, don't measure a jacket that's closed.
Exactly.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to wear it closed all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Because it will look too big. That's the bottom line. Okay, so we want to answer questions that you have, and we want to answer questions pertaining to sizing. I think what you like about this is the print.
Absolutely.
It's
And the
just so
fabric.
you. Like, you love Asian,
Mhm.
you love that whole flair,
Right.
and it is. The fabric it's a silk.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's Liz Claiborne. She worked with Liz Claiborne for how many years?
Oh, almost 10.
Yeah. And I worked for Liz Claiborne. Well, I didn't. You worked for Liz Claiborne. I worked in a department store. I did merchandising of Liz Claiborne, and I idolized her.
Were you a buyer?
I was a buyer, yes.
Oh, one of those people.
I was. Yeah. When I graduated from college, I was a buyer. But what's funny is, she had this like in a plastic thing, all sealed away. I have Liz Claiborne in my attic that I'm so in love with. I could never give it away, and I put it in plastic to preserve it all these years.
Great
So
minds.
I do think that we have things that we just love about our clothing, and when I refer you to going through and watching Heather, she talks
Yes,
about that,
very
and
ni-
she
very good.
divides it, and she makes it easy for you to, number one, not feel guilty for clothes that you've had for 40 years that you can't part with. She just kind of breaks that all down. I think that's really helpful.
Exactly.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is what pattern did you use for your white top?
This top. There was no pattern. This was Liz Claiborne's pattern or top.
No, I think she's talking about
Oh.
what I've got on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
Hey guys, we'll talk about all that stuff afterwards. Let's just stay to topic right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on.
Okay.
This is her size that she came up with. We're going to switch a Rooney here.
And you will notice I put the seams on the outside for you this time.
Seams are on the outside. What a deer. What a
I
deer,
was
deer,
thinking.
deer.
I got it here.
She did add, I'll pin all that up.
Okay.
She did add 1-inch seam allowances.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you guys, that was just for, error factor so that, we could get this in one time. And I'm going to bring the buttonholes together, and you got a pin here, but just so it doesn't
Yeah, I
go
pinned it
anywhere.
just so we know.
Okay. Make sure I don't pin your tummy. This looks
that's
really
okay.
pretty on you already.
And I have
Did you
to
put
tell
it
you.
on? Did you sneak it on?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to pin your tummy. Hold
Oh,
on.
that's okay.
Watch out, watch out, watch out. Your pins are coming out, so just hang on. I'm going to stick those down another way. Okay, that's good. Okay. So that's it. First thing, put it on. Pin up the front.
Mhm.
Did you make the jacket one size smaller? If you're going to wear it open. You're not going to you're going to try to forget sizes. You're going to make it according to the measurement that you make of the jacket that you wear open, and if you don't have one, then it's shopping time. If you guess or you speculate, you could be in here for years guessing and speculating. There's a whole myriad of stores out there, and they have the answers, and you want to get to the answers as quickly as possible. So measure your clothing that you like. Measure your clothing I don't care if it's in Walmart or Target. Just go find something that you feel like is close.
And we only chose a half an inch.
We are
pad
choosing half-inch shoulder
instead
pads.
of 1 inch.
Laura, sorry to have that lady too close to you.
Oh, that's okay. I love her anyway.
Laura chose half-inch shoulder pads.
Yes.
Because it's summer.
It's
and
summer.
Somehow
It's
that
lightweight.
felt lighter weight shoulder
Exactly.
pads to you.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I do it more by fabric. If it's a heavier fabric, even if it's in the summer, if it's a lighter whatever. But I have a tendency to go half-inch in the summer too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Questions were good. Okay, so remember it's length first in a princess seam pattern. This is 1900. This is a silhouette pattern. You will not have to make any length adjustments. Y'all heard that? You will not have to make any length adjustments. Okay, on a silhouette pattern. You will not have to make any length adjustments. The reason that you don't have to make any length adjustments is because it's a princess seam and you have an error factor, and I'm just not that bad at making patterns. I make plenty of mistakes, yada yada, but I'm not that bad. So you'll be within that bust circle, and so there's no room for exactness. It doesn't need to be exact, so don't sweat the small stuff. Okay? So next we've gotten length is okay. We're going to kind of put a little check mark. Next is circumference. She's gotten into the size she likes. How's it feel?
Feels good. Maybe
It looks good.
I feel a little bit big in the hips.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn her around, and you guys can see in the back here. Can I pull that in a little bit? It looks just a little boxy.
Yes.
I'm just going to give her, I think my favorite part of draping a jacket is the back, especially when it doesn't affect movement, and to get it close in and feel like it can be closer to the body and more shaped, y'all are better off to do that.
This is a shaped back seam, by the way, I noticed.
It does have a shaped back seam. It has a center back seam. Don't get rid of that. But I'm going to shape it just a little bit more. And so I'm just pulling these in just a little bit more. If you're dealing with a final fabric and you're not sure, you could always leave it like this. These seams are so easy to pull in. But Laura, whatever sizing you're using there at the bottom, you could go a little bit less.
Yes, I think so too.
Okay. Now also, when I did this jacket, I'm going to turn you just a little bit here. No, just right there. Sorry. When I did this pattern, I wanted to make it longer because you're better off to do it longer and then cut it off than to have me do it shorter and you have to add length. It's definitely harder to have to add length than it is to take away. All right, and so you can see how much prettier that is, just shaped. It's just more feminine. All of the above. Yeah, it does feel better. And plus, it really, honestly, it'll just, not that she doesn't look thin, but it'll make you look thinner. It really will. It'll make you look thinner. It'll give you that nice shape. And the back of a female is just really pretty. All right, so only do one thing at a time. Don't worry about any wrinkles. We did length. We're doing circumference now. And then you notice I'm going to do depth. Okay, any questions? Okay, sorry. I like the look of the 4-part jacket, but it looks long. I'm only 5'4" tall. How do I shorten it? Just take it off the bottom. Don't change the bust. Don't change the waist. Take it off the bottom. Okay, it should, you can have it be a 1-to-1, 1-to-1.5. You can have it do any of those lengths. I'm switching to a 1/2-inch shoulder pad. Do you lower the armhole? You're getting ahead of me, guys. Hold on, I'm not there yet, okay? Just give me a chance to get there, okay? We are switching to a 1/2-inch shoulder pad. That's why I say just time out. Let me get there. Okay, so L, we've got that done. C, we've got that done. Now we're going to do depth. Remember that depth is darting, so you're only going to have 4 depth issues. You're going to possibly have the rounded back. You're going to have a shoulder seam. You're going to have a sway back. Sometimes you'll need a bust adjustment at the side seam. Those are the only 4 you're going to deal with, and I'll show those to you. What are the horizontal lines on her muslin for? Those are just marking the waist. She's just marking the pattern.
Right.
It really doesn't have to match. So I'm going to say if you're doing a muslin, I wouldn't even worry about doing all that. Just do the muslin. Laura's very detailed.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to be detailed, and so, that's okay. How long did it take you to make the muslin?
Oh, less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Okay. Good. And you guys, if you want to ask her questions, we'll pass them on to her. Okay, are we okay? Okay, so there's only 4 depth issues that we're going to look at. Obviously, with a rounded back, she doesn't have anything. It's beautiful. She put the collar on there specifically so that we can see, because you may not remember, but when we fit a blouse on her,
yes, we had to make the back adjustment.
We had to do a rounded back. We had to slit it and add a 1/2 inch. And so you might think, well, gosh, I have to do that on this. But not the case. When you're doing a jacket, I'm the pattern maker. I'm leaving all the darts up here because I want the jacket is the closest fitting garment to the body. And I know that may sound weird because it goes over other things, but it's usually a thicker fabric and it fits the body closer than any other garment. And so you leave the darting in there so that it fits beautifully, and also because it's usually a heavier fabric and it needs a little bit more guidance. You don't want like a blouse where it's not loose and drapey. So those darts are left in place, and you can see that fits her beautifully. So she doesn't need the rounded back. I'm going to turn her sidewards because she is changing from a 1/2 inch shoulder pad to a 1 inch shoulder pad. You would automatically go here and say, gosh, we need to take some of this away. Okay, so I'm going to take this away and just pinch this up as much as you can. And if you're looking sidewards in a mirror, for yourself, you'll have to pinch it up, pin it, take it off, put it back on. It's a little bit of advantage to have somebody doing it for you, because it's a whole lot easier. It's funny. I got this pin and it wouldn't go through, and I threw it away. And then when I was emptying, I saw a pin in there, and I put it back in. That's the pin that wouldn't go through. I think I keep recycling this stupid dull pin. Okay, so you can see, and I'm just going to kind of pin that up so it stays up. You can see how much prettier that looks. When you're draping, you're much better off to go in order of L, C, and D. Don't go to the wrinkles. The wrinkles will resolve themselves when you go in the order of L, C, and D. Okay? Okay, the next dart that we're going to look at is this bust dart. Now, when she has her arm there, you can see there's kind of fluffy stuff here. That is because, what cup size did you use?
D.
She needs larger than a D. So you can see when I'm pulling this, it takes that away. So I'm going to put a dart. Don't put it so big that it pulls up the bottom. You just want to take up the fabric that's extra that's laying there. And I'm going to bring it in. The dart starts at the side seam. It's going to taper to nothing at this princess seam. That's just the beauty of having princess seams, is it's really easy. If the dart is not large enough, then you can just take care of it. If you do it at the side seam going to the front, you will need to continue it because you can see there's wrinkles right there and they're angular. You'll need to continue it right here and let the fabric kind of tell you where to go. Now again, you're trying to drape by yourself, so what I'm going to recommend is that you stop it at this seam and put it back on. And if it looks really pointy, it means it should have gone all the way to the center back seam, tapering to nothing. Don't take it up the same amount all the way across, because then you're shortening the jacket. You're not doing dart, you're doing length. Okay, so keep in mind that a dart, when you're doing darting, it has to end at nothing. And you can kind of see where she's got a bulge there. It's just not going to end there. It's not going to end at that seam. So I'm going to actually go through that seam and go right into the center back, and you can see that it is stopping at center back. So again, listen to the fabric, let the fabric tell you. If you're doing it by yourself, guesstimate the first seam, but I'm going to tell you from experience, most times it will not stop at this seam. Not sure why, but most of the time if you're making this dart over here, take it all the way to center back, and I think you'll find that will be the better drape for you. All right, that is just really, and see, you can see how pretty that side looks. Now, there's a couple wrinkles right in here, She's got 1 inch seam allowances.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, when you're doing an armhole, don't do
Oh.
1 inch seam allowances on the armhole. I know I told you to do 1 inch seam allowances everywhere. She didn't have a paper. But what happens is the seam allowance is so big that your arm pulls it down. So I'm just going to clip that, and you can see that now it's taking care of those wrinkles and it's laying like it should. Okay, so that's 1 was rounded back, 2 was shoulder, 3 was bust dart, and 4, was sway back. You want to turn around for me? She doesn't have a sway back. Okay. Okay, now, then you look at anything else and say, what else do I want to change? With Laura, she's got a little bit of a hollow right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to use the princess seam. I'm just going to scoop that out.
I have a question.
You're not allowed
Oh,
questions.
no, I didn't figure that.
You're the model.
Okay.
Models don't ask
Okay.
questions.
Now, since we did the 1 inch seams,
Yes.
it's almost impossible to do. It is impossible, I think,
To
to
get
do
them
a
together?
D-cup. Yeah, together without the wrinkles. Believe me, I tried,
Yeah, I know. I
and
know
I
what you're
think
saying.
maybe if you know basically what you are, would you advise using not a 1 inch seam, but go back to maybe even a 5/8?
Well, you don't have that seam. That seam is for circumference.
Oh, okay.
So that's not because you're a D cup. But to answer your question, I would definitely not use that 1 inch seam.
Okay.
I
good.
would not have suggested you use it, except
I
you
forgot
were the,
to email you.
Well, you were the example. I had to. I couldn't.
She
let,
can only handle so many emails.
I couldn't let you not do it
Yeah.
if everybody else needed to do it. So yeah, it is hard because it's a princess seam. It's concave and convex to get that wide seam together. If you feel certain you're in the right size, don't do 1 inch.
Okay.
It's just a mess. It really is. And actually, since we're cutting, you know, you can see that once you cut that away too, it lays so much cleaner.
Oh, much better.
Yeah.
Much,
Okay.
much better.
So sometimes it's simply because that seam is so big. I've seen it cause problems. I'm going to push this shoulder up just a little bit. Okay. Okay. What do y'all think? It's going to
Much
look
better.
better in fabric.
Oh, absolutely. And I plan to make it out of a lightweight, summer silk or something like
How
that.
does it feel?
It feels good. It feels a little boxy in through here, but I don't want it to fit real tight because I'm going to be buttoning
again, it's a muslin. And what I would do is, you might end up shaping this, but you could do that on the final jacket. So try not to overfit the muslin. And if you are tempted to, ask yourself, can I change it after the fabric is cut, or is it a change I have to make now?
Right.
Because once you make the fabric up, if you want, I would take that in a little bit. But again, you're going to see that when we do the sew along, once we've got that body together, we're going to put it on and we're going to tweak it.
And that is where I went from one size to the other, was around this area below the bust line. So that was another reason that
So
it's
note to
loose.
Laura, you might not need to go the other size until you get lower, just as a reference.
Yes.
Okay, how are we
That
doing,
feels good.
guys? Are we good? Okay, what comments do you want to make?
I like a high tight armhole.
She likes a high tight armhole.
So therefore, the sleeves that comes with the particular size that
A
I'm
high
using
tight armhole.
they move.
It's like whitey tighties.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
what's this?
This is a 3.
That's a 3?
This is, but I made both a 3 size and a 4 size.
Okay, so she said she measured her jackets and she had a 3 and she had a 4. And I said, good, because said she was in between. I said, well,
I should have graded
just go
them.
in between.
Right.
Just go right in between. Cut right in between, you guys. You can get exactly what you want. You got every size in that envelope. You don't have to compromise those sizes. I'm going to turn you just this way, just for a second. Just relax your arm. You don't have to compromise on that. All right, so what you're going to do is, if we decide she likes this 3 sleeve, we're going to take the 3 armhole and draw it onto the jacket, and we draw it on from the jacket from the shoulder seam to the side seam. So you just literally take that 3 armhole and go from the jacket to the side seam. Even if the side seam has to come up a little bit, that's fine. Did you measure the armhole?
Yes,
at
I
all?
did. This is a 15. The other one, I'm sorry, this is a 14 and a half or so. The next one is a 15, which would be the size 4, and a size 5. It goes on up. I measured each one of them, and there's about an inch.
What do you like, though?
I like 15.
Oh, you like 15.
Yes.
So this is a little smaller than what you like.
No, actually, I like it. I'm going to narrow it in. down here. But
Okay.
as far as the shoulder goes,
You're okay.
I'm putting, I'm
Okay.
changing sizes.
Okay, the only thing I want to do is when you put your arm down, I want to bend this sleeve as bent as she is. Does the top of the shoulder need to be cut back a little? Cut back.
Too hard?
No. Cut back a little. I'm not sure what you're asking there, but she's got a 1-inch seam allowance on here, you guys, so it looks a little wider than what it might be, but no, it looks good. Looks good. And again, that wide seam allowance makes it look like it's backwards, but as far as where it is, it's fine too. There's really no right place for it to be, but I think it looks good. I think she'll be happy with it. Okay. So we're going to put a dart here. This is a horizontal dart. It's the front of the sleeve. It tapers to nothing at the back in both the undersleeve and the upper sleeve. You know how to do this? Okay. So that's all. You guys got to watch how much your arms bend and how much your sleeves bend, because that will let the sleeve hang straight and it'll take all the wrinkles away. And it's beautiful. Now, something to watch, and it's really just styling. What Laura was mentioning is she likes it to be thinner. So again, go back to your jacket and just measure what it is at the bottom. This is just styling. But take equally off all 4 seams. It's like the bottom on a pair of pants. If you're going to narrow this, and taper to nothing to the elbow.
Okay.
And leave that like it is. Okay, are we good? Anything else? You look magnificent, darling. You look gorgeous. Okay. All right. Anything you want to say? Any questions you guys want to ask? Now, when you change the armhole size, you have to do the back and the front, right? Yes. Both back and front. You've got a front armhole and a back armhole in you. Whatever 3 is, she's going to use the 3, or she's going to go between. What are you going to do? Do you know?
I'm probably going to grade it.
And go in
Since
between?
yeah, probably in between. I'll just test it and see which
So
one
just
I
go
like
right in between the armholes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do have one question though.
Yes.
When you are using the jacket sleeve template,
Yes.
and so you're going to select that one to change the armhole of the jacket, correct?
Right.
Okay. So you're going to put the top at the shoulder seam
Right.
and rotate the template.
Swing it out.
Swing
kind
it
of.
out.
Rotates a little fancy. We'll just say
Exactly.
swing it out.
Okay. And so that is possibly going to raise this armhole.
It might, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Is that something that I'm going to have to be careful about? Because we've got the armhole fitting and I've marked the stitching line as it is and it's fine.
No,
if I raise
no. We didn't really fit that armhole.
Oh, okay.
We trust that if you like that sleeve, you're going to like the armhole that goes with it.
Okay.
We
That's
trust that.
Okay.
You had measured it. You said
I
you
measured
did.
it. Oh, yes.
But yeah. Armholes and sleeves are married.
Okay.
How many years?
I don't want to give a
60?
I haven't got my templates yet. I'm using my old cardboards, dear.
Well, I've got some templates. I think
I
we
knew
can
you
hook
would.
you up with some templates.
Anyway, it was fun and it's
All
very,
right.
very educational.
Good.
And
Good. So, Laura, whenever she agrees to these, it does push you to where
challenge.
you have to do it and you have deadlines to do it. And is that a good thing?
in my case, yes.
So we've already given
like a
her a
challenge.
deadline when she's going to have the jacket made, you guys. So she's going to come on, not this next
not
time,
this
but the
next time.
next time, and she's going to show you all her jacket.
Right. So, thank you.
We've got the fabric.
We made it.
We've got the
it.
fabric put aside and everything,
Yes.
and it's beautiful. I mean, she's going to look stunning. It is exciting. It's exciting.
Now I'm really going to learn something.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right, so we are like really late on time, but I'm just going to try to go quickly through what I've got. And again, the questions regarding that, you guys were great on. Let's do it, right? Okay, so the reason I wanted to do this is summer sewing to me is always lightweight, like cotton fabrics most of the time. And sometimes I think that a lighter weight fabric is almost cooler than a knit, a cotton woven. So I wanted to take you through a little journey. I've kind of been collecting these in my head for a little while. And I wanted to kind of go through and show them to you. All right, so we're going to start with, there's a little shopping area in Dallas. I'm sure everyone in Dallas is familiar with it. It's called Highland Park Village. And in Highland Park Village, they just have some beautiful stores. And, they change in and out. But one of the stores that's new there is called Hadley's. And Hadley's only has 2 stores. One's in New York and one's in Dallas. And they just do all kinds of fun things. So I want to show this first picture because there's Laura mentioned, and this was not cute. I didn't cue her to do this, but back in the 90s, Liz Claiborne did a shirt dress.
Mm-hmm.
And that shirt dress was just wildly successful. Others had done it prior to that, but the shirt dress is still, talk about classics, it is really classics. So when I was in and I saw this, what I really want you to note about this is the belting. Let me bring this one forward that I did. This is the one I did. I just out of a great print, this is, the blouse is 600. I'm going to show you how to do the trumpet sleeve. I'm going to show you that in a minute. The fabric is $33.91. I just absolutely love it. And of course it's making this fabric belt. So there's that picture, and then I wanted to show you, you have to look, they've got so much stuff on this, you have to almost look close at the belt. The reason I like the belt is because for summertime, go to the next one just for 1 second. I tried to take a picture of this in a store. I had seen it someplace else. It's hard to see this because my photography is probably not the best. But anyway, what's wonderful about these fabric belts is that you don't have to, you can make them as loose or as tight as you want. I guess it's a great way to expand your clothing. How's that? I don't know how else to say that. But I'm going to take this off, and what they do is they'll wrap around, I put a seam in mine because it's easy to start there. They go around the back, they cross around the back, then they come around and tie in the front. So all I did was I cut a piece of fabric. The belt is 2 inches wide. Don't make it really wide. You'll look shorter if it's really wide. So it's 2 inches wide. I cut it double that. I cut 4 inch, and I cut 2 strips, and I cut the whole width of the fabric. So if the fabric was 60 wide, I don't think it was, but I cut 120 inches. I sewed it in the middle. I put it on myself. I wrapped it around to how much I needed it to be, and bam, I cut the rest off. So, it's really easy to kind of figure out how long I need it to be. But what I really like about this is it takes the places of darts, it brings it in to where it looks flattering, and yet it can expand. So the blouse itself, I left off all the darts on the classic blouse and just used the belt to bring it in. And it's just lovely. It's really, you're going to see it. I've seen it several places for summer, and I just think it's really cute. All right, let me ask questions here for just a second. When I use the size 3 templates, the front side seam comes up about 1 inch, the back side seam goes down about 1/2 inch. They don't match anymore. Well, then you might be moving the shoulder seam. Don't move that shoulder seam. Be sure to align them starting at the top and going to the bottom. I mean, if they don't match, you could, take some off the front and add it to the back or whatever. As long as the hole is the right size, it doesn't really matter. But they should match. So something, look to see, are you changing the armhole more in the front than the back? Just kind of check all that out. So you have to put all the changes on the pattern or actual fabric. You have to put all the fabric. Well, that's a good question. After the muslin's done, for Laura, I would say to her, go through, make all the changes, sew all the changes in, reduce your seam allowances all down to 3/8, and then you notice I only draped half, use the side we draped. And then those would be her pieces. And then if she wants it shorter, she can just fold it up. Okay? Does that help? All right, thanks. Okay, so then I want to show you, okay, so this is, you guys, sorry, when I do answer those questions, I get totally lost as to where I'm at. So I'm sorry if I repeat or go back. 600 is a classic blouse. The fabric is $33.91. I want to look to the next picture, if you don't mind. And this is Alice and Olivier. And I was in the store and I saw this blouse and I just love this sleeve. And so I duplicated the sleeve. There's many different ways to do this, but I just really liked how this was done. Now this is a little stiffer fabric than what that is. It doesn't matter. So you get a different look. But either way, I just wanted you to see that it's just cute. So we're going to go to the next picture. I'm going to show you how to do it. You kind of, when you're sewing it, you have to sew the underarm seam of your sleeve first. So I actually set in this sleeve rather than sewing it in flat. So you're going to do the underarm seam, and then you're cutting this rectangle. And this rectangle is 5 inches to each side of the sleeve. Basically, it's 10 wide. It's 10 by 10, roughly. Okay? Then you're going to only cut it from one side. There's a seam here, and that's so that you can get in to sew it all the way around. There's no seam over here. So you can see if I kind of put it up like that, you sew into here, you sew around, and then sew these together. Now what I did is I just curved the edges. Curving the edges just softens it a little bit than having the rectangular edges. The rectangular edges are a little bit more like a handkerchief sleeve, where the curved edges, and then I did a little rolled edge on those. And you know, again, I just did it because I just liked it. That's it. But I really wanted to just introduce to you a different sleeve as well, and they just really looked fun. So we did the trumpet sleeve and we did the Hadley's self-tie. And notice that dress, I don't know if you noticed or not, that dress was $900. That little self-tie striped dress, shirt dress. So that's a lot for a little shirt dress. It probably took me an hour to make it. One thing I did do on this is I cut this a little longer for the shirt, and then I left open the side, like a little shirt tail hem. I just kind of left it open so it had really that very casual feel to it all the way, whole way through. You still sewed the bust dart on the 600, yes. That bust dart is right here. I know you don't see it, but it's there. How much did you lengthen the blouse? I added 6 inches to the bottom. On the print blouse, how much did you lengthen it? I lengthened it 6 inches. Ask the same question enough times and you might get a different answer depending on what time it is. Alright, but everything else I just left according to, I use these little buttons, those little small metal buttons. I love those things. I don't know the numbers on those, but I just really like them. In this case, they really just almost blended in. They almost look like the middle of the flower. So I really like buttons that have a tendency to not show. I don't know what it is. Or I'll show and make a statement, but do one or the other. The fabric was busy enough that I just wanted it to be still almost when I was doing the buttons. Okay. The next thing that I've seen a lot of, is this wrap sleeve. I mean the wrap blouse. And I mean, it's just everywhere. But what I've noticed a few little changes or updates, I'm not sure what you would call them, but the fabric is very soft, and because I think the fabric is soft, the collar has been removed, and the wrap I've seen it a lot in a kimono sleeve. So I wanted to do that because a kimono sleeve is a very soft sleeve, and it makes sense that the whole thing is done a lot softer than typically a wrap would be. So this is, oh, you know what, I forgot, you guys, I had all these patterns. I'm supposed to be showing you the patterns. There's 600, that's the classic blouse that we did. I only missed 2, we're up to snuff now. Here's the wrap blouse. I've got this pile of patterns I'm sitting here looking at thinking, what am I supposed to be doing with these? 650, that's the wrap blouse. That's the front, what it looks like, and then that's the blouse. So what we'll do is we'll go over what was the length of the sleeve before you put the trumpet cuff on it. I just made it above elbow. Just make it above elbow. You don't want the trumpet to, that is a style, but I made sure mine was above the elbow so the trumpet would be just below the elbow. Like a 3/4 sleeve is what this will come out to be like. Isn't that cute? I just love it. Again, different fabrics will look completely different. It's totally your call, but that's kind of what I decided to do. You said you made 600 without the darts. No, I didn't. Okay, let me clarify. I have the bust dart, but I left out the vertical darts, the waist darts, in the front and the back. So you're right. I probably did say without the darts. What I meant was I didn't put the vertical darts in because the belt becomes the dart. It's what darts it in and, you know, gives it the fit. Okay, sorry. On the cloth belt, you said you cut it. I cut 4 inches wide, then sewed it in the middle. Well, so when you wrap a belt around you, you don't know how long to make it. Well, the belt is let's say the fabric, as an example, is 60 inches wide. That is not enough to go around you twice. Probably not, and have some room to tie. So you have to assume you need 2 4-inch strips. The belt's 2 inches wide, you want 2 4-inch strips. Sew them in the middle, sew them together, and then put the seam in the middle, wrap it around you, bring it back to the front, and then tie it. And you'll have these long ends because you don't need that much. And then cut off whatever you don't need. So plan on 2 strips, 4 inches wide, and then you can tie it on you, and then whatever you don't need, just cut off. Does that make more sense? You're right, I probably didn't do a really good job of explaining that. I'm sorry, okay? Is your white print over top Brooke's top? It is. But you're supposed to wait until I get to it, girls. Come on now. Okay. This. I guess we did everything. Oh, I wanted to show them how to do the kimono. I've done it many times, but I just went ahead and did it. You know, if you're watching for a beginning time, show you how to do it. This fabric, I love this fabric. $33.93. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you about this, you guys. So this fabric is 100% cotton. It's beautiful. It's lightweight. Because when you put one layer on top of the other, you actually can see it through. So I shadowed this. So I know you can't tell, but see, it's exactly the same on the top that it is on the inside. So it almost looks like it's thicker, but it's actually the exact same. Isn't that cool? It's pretty. It's really pretty. So I finished the front, and then I sewed it into the side seam. So I've showed you before on a sheer how to shadow the sheer. I did the same thing on this because it was the facing. And when, like in the back, for instance, I cut a little back facing back here. Can you kind of come in close and show that? You can see there that that's the facing. You can actually see the print through the fabric. And I didn't want that on the front. So that's why I did it exactly. It's just the front and the front facing. So I actually had to use another yard to do that. So if you want to, you could fuse it, or you could just use a white fabric behind it. But if you use the print, it's going to show through, and you could do that too. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, I just decided I didn't want to. So it's fabric $33.93. We did the kimono. There's the kimono. Number 1, I shortened the sleeve, and that's just that's style, just whatever you feel like you want to. You're going to cut the sleeve in half, add it to the front, add it to the back, and then create that curve. When you create the curve, make sure the curve's the same in the front and the back. You know, it's just a style line. You can use your French curve, but it's just real easy to do. So to me, I was going to wear that with jeans. I just really like it. I just really like it. Okay. Drying a ruffle looks like a rectangle in the drying. A 10 by 10 makes a square. I did a 10. Yeah, you're right. 10 by. I think I'm going to have to measure it. Sorry. Lori doesn't know where my handy little toys are.
I know now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you got to start with 1. Unless you're going to subtract, but it's probably a little easier to. Okay, so that's, where's my 1? There it is. So it's 5 inches. Oh, I know why. Because the sleeve's in the middle. You are adding 5 inches. Sorry, go back to that trumpet for a minute, can you? Sorry. Yeah, that's why. The sleeve's in the middle. You're adding 5 inches to all sides, but the sleeve's in the middle. And so it does make it rectangular. Maybe like 3. Number 3. There you go. So it is 5 inches on both sides. And it's 5 inches all the way around, but because the sleeve's in the middle, you know, I can't give you an exact measurement because the sleeve changes sizes. So the sleeve makes it a rectangular this way rather than that way. I did give you the right numbers, but I forgot. The sleeve's in the middle. Yeah. Okay. So thank you guys. You guys have to check me. Okay. How much more fabric did you need to shadow at a yard? Because you had to make sure that the print is right on the right place. So I actually used 3 yards for that wrap. When I did the wrap neckline, just FYI, and this is totally, again, preference, but because I can't stand a wrap that unwraps, I flip the French curve the opposite direction. So typically on the neckline, it does concave. I flipped it to go convex. So just be aware of that. It doesn't matter the numbers. Just put one end of the curve at the neckline and one end just where it normally would go, and you'll see what it does is it covers more space up here on the neckline. And you can always, if you're not sure, you can always turn it concave. And then if you don't like it and you put it on, you can always cut it off and say, hey, I don't really like that. But I just really like a neckline that's covers. I don't know how else to say that. I want it to cover. Okay, so let's do the next one. And I wanted to show you first off inspiration. You guys, because I think there's a lot of times where I'm going to do something and I'm going to kind of do a little, not a literal translation of it. And this is it. So this is just fun. This is the fabric that I started with. It's fabric number 3253. And it took me 3 yards because you're taking out 50% of it. It's this skirt right here. We'll send her back there. We'll put her up here. All right. And so I just love this. I've seen it before. I left one white stripe open. There's one version right there. Go to the next photo if you don't mind. I wanted you to see this skirt. This is, I can't remember where this was from, you guys. It's a problem with doing this in advance. The shorter skirt. How much is that short skirt?
$940.
It's $940, half off. That's a half off sale. So nobody wanted to pay $2,000 for the skirt. So, you know, what you do is you start with just, you don't need a pattern, obviously. This is a stretch woven. You start, I just put the white together and just ran it through my serger. And I went down about 9 inches because I didn't want it to open up at my hip. I wanted it to be a little lower. So I went down 9 inches. And I just think it's cute as can be. I made it 34 inches long, so I needed one, and then I just kept sewing until it went around. By the time I went to 2 pieces, it wasn't enough to go around my hips, so I had to use a 3rd yard, so I used 3 yards. It's really very easy. It's kind of brainless. The reason I did this skirt, number 1, is I love it, and I wanted one. But number 2, it is a great skirt. It's a great look to wear with your jean jacket. So what I did is I paired it with my little t-shirt, $195, that white t-shirt I had made a little while ago. And then I paired it with $900 with a jean jacket. And I just think it's cute as can be. You can just wear it with tennis shoes and, you know, whatever on the bottom. It's comfort. It's really comfort. And when the city opens and the market starts again down at downtown, they have a farmer's market. It's just my favorite thing to do to go down there. And I just love wearing skirts. I don't know what it is, but, you know, this will definitely be on the agenda. Is the striped fabric woven or knit? It's a stretch woven. I don't know if that answers your question. So then what I did once I finished is I just put it on. It was bigger than what I needed. And I used 1.5 inch white elastic. I didn't want 2 inch. I just kind of wanted it at the top of my hips, not at my waist. And then I just literally stitched it on. Very crudely, but it works. Okay, so just once you finish, and then again, I finished the top on the elastic, and I finished the bottom by doing a rolled edge, just simply because I didn't want to turn it up. I wanted it to hang a little more loosely, and I felt like if I had turned it up, it almost gives it too much direction. So I just did a rolled hem at the bottom. All right, are we okay there? I see we're at time, you guys. I'm trying to talk fast now. I feel like I'm talking slow. Okay, so then this next one, there you go. That's Anne's top. I think that looks a little larger and a little sloppy to me, but I kind of cleaned it up and just kind of took the idea. So there's the idea. Here's the way I did it. This is so cute on. I don't know how it looks on the mannequin per se, but I just love it on. So this is, I did 2 fabrics. 115 is the pattern. That was last month's POM, so you all have it. And I did a yard of each. And we did the 33.79. And then the black rayon is 33.76. And just make a little pocket and put a little button on there. Easy. You're going to have a center front seam. Just cute. Easy peasy. Okay? What number is the striped fabric? The striped fabric is 32.53. I feel so organized because I have all my little list of fabrics tonight. Some nights I don't do as well. 32.53 is the black and white stripe. Okay, and then last we can talk about mine. Can we do that? We covered all the bases. Mine is 95 Brooks top. You know, when I talk about summer sewing, I can't go through a summer without making a new Brooks top. I just absolutely love it. And so I want to show you, and I did mine with leggings. I've got jean leggings on. I wanted to show you a little bit what I started thinking about. Because Brooks top has a long panel, and it goes down one way and flips up the other side. Okay? That's kind of the story of Brooks top. It was top at Neiman's. I was going to say I stole it out of Neiman's, but I didn't obviously steal it, but I did duplicate it, if that's the right word. And so you've always needed a fabric that was two-sideable. This is fabric number 3341. It's not two-sideable, but I want to show you this picture. And this is Tommy Bahama. And Tommy Bahama has been notoriously famous for doing that really faded kind of look. And they're using the wrong side of the fabric for the right side of the garment. So I wanted to throw this out at the end for us to really start to think about the right side and the wrong side. And that's kind of something that's been drilled into our head for probably as many years as we've been alive. The right side and the wrong side. But is there anything wrong with the wrong side? And can I use any side I really like? And when I see it in retail, to me, it kind of validates that you really can do what you feel like you like the best. So in this particular case, I thought about I would do double, and I could do double, and I would do the whole thing the right side. And then I decided, no, what, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do one side the right side, and I wanted to do one side the wrong side, almost like it's a faded version of the other side. And I just really like it. I did I thought about what I was going to wear it with. I'm going to wear it with denim. And so the whole edge is what I did is a rolled edge that's a blue to match everything else. And I love it. I just really, really like it. It turned out exactly like I wanted it to. I feel like I can have on my jeans and my t-shirt and throw on a scarf and a Brooks top and make it all somehow look better. Okay. All right. Is it an elastic waistband? What would be that? The skirt maybe? Yes. Yeah. Well, the skirt is, this is a stretch woven, the fabric is. So by the time you make all the little pleats, it's still going to stretch. There's still stretch to it. Once I did that though, I gathered it in just slightly. You don't want to do it a lot because it still has that stretch to it. Can we see the back of the color blocked top? Yes. Please show the back of Anne's top. Oh, okay, I did that. How do you lengthen Brooke's top? Make it longer. Make that piece longer. Cut it in the middle. I would probably cut it in the middle and add the length in the middle if you wanted it to go longer. But this is, I didn't lengthen it. This is the length it is. It's plenty long. Just FYI. You know, the back is not as long. The front is longer than the back. Okay? Are we good? Boy, man, we did good. All the issues, all the problems. Laura's fitting. Did you lengthen Brooke's top? Nada. No. No. All right. Is everybody having fun sewing? We've got all kinds of new fabrics up. Oh my gosh. All kinds of new fabrics. We're going to have a kind of a little PBS push this weekend. So much going on. Well, I won't say that. Anyway, so much going on. We're just going to have a fun month. Just hang with us. We're going to learn to do jackets. If you're scared of jackets, stay with us. If you love jackets, stay with us. Just stay with us. And we're going to post everything. If you guys don't know about Silhouette Enthusiast, it's a private Facebook group. They're the nicest ladies on the planet. If you want to be in, go to Facebook, go to Silhouette Enthusiast. And then you can kind of, you know, we got to make sure you're female. You can't have a male name in your email, you know, and because ladies are like barren at all. We want to make sure that you know intruders there. Okay. All right. So the sew along will be a week from Saturday, the first sew along. So it'll actually be our next event that we post. It'll be before the two fittings. But you've seen Laura. This is not a hard jacket to fit. Really, you didn't have a lot of questions at all. You kind of sailed along. Okay, so you guys can do this. And so the goal is to, if you're not ready by that first sew along, because we're going to sew all the straight seams, just like what's in the guide sheet. The POMs will be sent by then, so that if you're a POM club member, you'll have your pattern. Belinda and Diane will do fittings on them just to go through the fitting process again, and then we'll go from there. Okay? What brand of machine do you use for rolled hem? I used a Baby Lock. For me, it's faster to change. Laura and I were just talking about that before you guys came in. Did I pin you in to your?
Yeah, but that's okay. I can sit on it.
I see you sitting on her pins because I pinned her in. Laura and I were talking about that actually beforehand when we were looking at rolled hems. I really like the Baby Lock because it's so fast to change. I don't know that the Viking is as fast because I never do it. I just use the Baby Lock. So I will say I'm a victim of that. Okay, how much for each fabric? Oh, do a yard each. a yard of the black and a yard of the white, because you've got the black is just the back. I mean, it depends on the size. It's just got the back, half the front, and the sleeve. And then this has the collar, half the front, and a pocket. So I did a yard of each, and I found it to be enough. But again, it depends on your size, you guys. Okay, so there were some questions, you guys, that we went through and that we either didn't get to them or we skipped because they didn't pertain to what we were talking about. So we're going to be a little strict on that. If you're asking a question that's completely out in left field and we're in right field, just email me privately. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to answer questions. But I'm telling you guys, I lose my brain. I can't get back to what I'm talking about. So if you don't mind, we'll skip over those questions that don't pertain, and then we'll answer you later. Okay? Just shoot me an email. Peggy@silhouettepatterns.com. Okay, so for tonight, Laura, thank you.
You're welcome.
My tech team back there, I'm telling you, please don't ever leave me. Please don't ever leave me. And to all of you watching, thank you. We'll see you in a little bit, and happy sewing. Good night.